The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN Tuesday morning, 8:30 a.m., 60 minutes to go until the opening bell, and we got markets opening in positive territory. We had the markets opening in positive territory yesterday, and there's the action we got from yesterday. We make highs at about 10:30 in the morning of about 36.90. We trade all the way down to almost 36.35. We make a low on yesterday towards the end of the day, 36.37. So you're talking about a solid 50-plus S&P points. Overnight, we've clawed back about half of those losses, sitting at about 36.66. You see even a pop at 7 a.m. in the S&Ps. We'll see where we go from there. Up 25 points right now in the futures market, or 0.7%. And Q's catching a bid as well. We'll just back it up now. This is last week's action. You back it up to Monday action. We trade higher on the open. And, folks, we just got above that high. The high at 11:15 a.m. this morning yesterday. You're talking about 12,549.50. We're within a point of that level right now, but we did make it up in the NQs to a high of 12,552, just by a few points, but we're over the highs. The Dow, quite a different story, as you saw. The NQs were above yesterday's intraday high. The Dow still almost about 300 points from that level. We were up there at a price point of 30,240. We're trading 29,950 right now. The Russell's up 14 points at 1928. Commodities, gold catching a bid, 1855 right now. We were at 1820 yesterday, quite an acceleration. We got silver up 56 cents. That's accelerating higher as well, 2460. We'll jump over to crude. Above yesterday's high as well in crude. You see the acceleration to lower prices. Folks, they don't look that large on this chart because they're everywhere, but you're talking about a $2 move almost in both directions. Early yesterday, you back it up almost 24 hours ago, we're trading at 47.44. You trade all the way down to a low of 45.69, and just like that, we've made it above where we were 24 hours ago. Quite the movement in crude. We got to check in on Bitcoin, holding above 19,000 at 19,400 right now. Checking in on notes and bonds. A little bit of lower price. Pretty muted action so far. The 10-year off 3 ticks right now. We have a yield in the 10-year of just above 0.9%, 0.905%. I back this up so you can see what this gray area is when it's on a daily. You're looking at the consolidation. This has been going all the way back to March. Every time it's got down to that lower boundary, we've seen a little bit of a bounce. We were down there on the 4th and 7th of December. We're currently trading 137.31 right now, 9/10. Every time we get near that, we're approaching a 1% yield. When you get down there, we'd probably have to get to a price point of somewhere at about 137, maybe a 136 handle to get a 1% yield, and we'll see where we go from there. All right, jumping around to what else we got going on in the markets. Moderna, their vaccine looks to be on path for approval. A little bit of volatility this morning on that news. The initial spike higher, the market pulling back, all but expected, I would say. But there's the headline. Moderna vaccine found safe, effective, ahead of key FDA review, going through the similar steps that we had with Pfizer. Their vaccine starting to be delivered and to patients yesterday. Moderna's vaccine, safe and effective. Not sure when their hearing is. Clearing the way for a second shot to quickly gain emergency authorization. So they said in a report today that it's effective, confirming earlier results. Posted online ahead of a meeting Thursday. So there it is, Thursday, of agency advisors who will vote whether to recommend authorization before a final FDA decision. FDA got a much deeper look at their clinical trial data than the numbers previously released to the public by the company. Notably, the agency was able to review the shot's effectiveness across a broad range of racial, ethnic, and age groups, look at evidence of how well the shot worked for people with pre-existing medical conditions that make them vulnerable to severe COVID-19. They found it was similarly effective across racial, ethnic groups. It was 86.4% effective in people aged 65 and over, and 95.6% effective in those 18 to 65. Some strong numbers there. Moderna getting a little bit of a pop, but giving it back. We'll jump over to Pfizer this morning. PFE Pfizer trading a little lower as well. I mean, this could easily, folks, be one of the stories. You buy the lead up to the news, you sell the news, right? You buy the rumor, you sell the news. You buy the acceleration to all the hype of Pfizer delivering the first vaccine to the U.S. Exciting times. And it sells off from 43 last week to 39. I mean, folks, that's a 9% hit. I mean, even look at this action that we had on yesterday. You're talking about from almost 42 to 39. That's $3. That's 7%, 6%. Big numbers for Pfizer. Talking about big numbers, Tesla. Look at this, folks. We might hit an all-time high in Tesla. We're up today again to the tune of about $15. Yesterday's action, you see where we are, 639. Yesterday charging higher from a low of 610, the high of 654. Tesla added to the S&P coming up on Monday. Friday, going to be quite a day. You got quad witching, rebalancing. There's more going on than even that, folks. I got it up here. Let's see. Where are we? I have more than... Nope, that's a Brexit we'll get to. Here we go. Peloton, Match Group. They're joining the NASDAQ 100. Excuse me one sec. I just had... There are ads playing at me. That's what's going on, so I can hear it. Peloton and Match, they're joining the NASDAQ 100. Major rebalancing. So there's rebalancings going on all over the place. Tesla going to have the biggest impact of them all out there. All right, jumping around, what else we got going on? So lawmakers rush to complete relief before break. Congress update. It's going to be a tough one, folks. It seems like this is the headline continuing on a daily basis. You got Pelosi and Schumer face pressure to allow a vote on the COVID-19 assistance plan without the aid for states they've said is vital. Be really interesting to see how this plays out. If they allow that vote and it passes, state aid probably having zero chance of getting done, at least before the next administration. With the congressional session winding down and a government funding package needed by Friday, time's running out for an agreement on the two most contentious and partisan pandemic relief issues, COVID-19 liability and state aid. Folks, it's always been about liability and state aid. You got an extension for the government funding for a week so you can work through these details. Tom and I were talking about on the program yesterday. It's like, what goes on in those negotiations when there's no progress made on the two issues that are a thorn in each other's side that prevent a deal from getting done? And you say, well, we're not budging on this, we're not budging on that. We'll see if it comes out, folks. I'm not too optimistic on that deal, but maybe they'll get a vote without the state aid, and if they do, that will probably pass. So we'll see what happens. Checking back to the markets, S&P is up 25 right now. Be really interesting to see how we open after yesterday's acceleration to lower prices yesterday. Jumping around to some of the stocks with action. Where are we? There we are. All right, so Eli Lilly, they're going to buy Prevail Therapeutics. There's a couple deals going on out there I saw today. Almost $1 billion, $880 million. Prevail's going to receive a contingent value right worth up to $4 a share. Just those drug makers, they continue. I mean, Bristol Myers Squibb. Well, Bristol Myers, is this Squibb? They added that stock to the conviction list. Let's see, what else do we have here? Apple's going to ramp up their iPhone production at 96 million for the first half of 2021. It's a big number. I got myself a new Apple recently. I think my dad's got one coming too. There's Apple trading higher on that news to 124.05. Stay tuned, folks. We got a lot of stocks moving this morning. We'll go over them. We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. Are you looking to buy or sell gold, silver, platinum, coins, or bullion? We can help. At Tiger Precious Metals and Stones, we specialize in the buying and selling of gold, silver, as well as collectible U.S. and foreign coins. We not only buy your unwanted or broken jewelry, but you can trade that in for gold and silver coins, too. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245 for a quote over the phone and to lock in the current market price. Call us now at 727-329-8245.
TFNN has just launched our Tiger Dollar Holiday Sale. For a limited time, we've doubled all the Tiger Dollar bonuses, where you can now get up to a 20, 30, or even a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. Tiger Dollars are good for all TFNN newsletters, webinars, and services and never expire. Whether you're a current subscriber or just thinking of signing up for any TFNN products in the future, this is a great time to get your Tiger Dollars. Happy holidays from all of us at TFNN.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. A couple of articles I got up there. FTC, they're ordering Amazon, Facebook, and others to explain how they collect and use personal data. So the story was out there yesterday, but interesting, talking about the EU with their gatekeeper law, potentially putting on the books that they might have to pay 10% of their annual revenue. We were looking it up. That's to the tune of 10% for a company like even Google, I believe it was. You're talking about almost $200 billion a year in revenue. It's about $20 billion fine. I think it was Google, maybe it was Facebook, either one of them. Big numbers, and it'd be great if our government could get a hold of these companies, folks, because, man, I love their stocks, but I love their stocks because they're just abusing the process of using your data, monopolizing that data. Google, Facebook, I mean, Amazon, Amazon's a marketplace of its own. Now, it becomes difficult here because you get Amazon. Well, of course they have competition. They have competition from Walmart, and they got competition from Target. Lowe's, Home Depot, right? They all have their own kind of unique set when you talk about Amazon, Facebook. Microsoft's kind of okay because they already went through it. Amazon, Facebook, Google, especially, and maybe Apple thrown in there as well. All right. Jumping over to TFNN, folks. Our Tiger Dollar sale runs through Sunday. There's 3 levels. You can get a 20, 30, or a 40% bonus on your purchase. Normally, it's either 10, 15, or 20%. That deal runs through Sunday. I encourage you to check it out for all the details on the front page of TFNN. And what we also got going on, Basil Chapman's opening call. Basil's going up on his prices on January 1st, 2021. Remarkable, that's where we are. Right now, you can sign up, and you lock in this rate, folks, for as long as you subscribe. Monthly, $128, 6 months, $595, a year, for $995, whether you're saving 22% on the 6 month or 35% on the year. You can lock those in. They still come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Try out Basil service. What they also come with, folks, I just pulled up during the break, the archives that Basil has done for his webinars for his subscribers, okay? These are normally, pretty applicable across the board and not dated because Basil goes through the tools and methodology he uses in these. I think he's got 7, 8. This is the archive section. You only get into this if you are a subscriber to the opening call, so you gain access to all these archives. Check them out over the next month where you're a subscriber. And again, comes with a money-back guarantee. Check that out on the front page of TFNN.com. Okay, what else we got going on? I just pulled up here that we actually, looks like CVS. Where are we here? Excuse me for clicking around. No, I was just pulling up an article. Here we are. In terms of the vaccines, so all the vaccines coming out. We have Moderna news today. Looks like they have a hearing on Thursday. I mean, it's only a matter of time, folks, months, until these, it looks like, start coming out to your local drugstore, just like you see advertised for the flu shot. You're talking about Walgreens and CVS officials saying they expect to have COVID-19 shots for the general public at their stores in early spring. They're going to play a central role. It makes sense, right? In Florida, folks, we got a Walgreens and a CVS on each block. So they're already playing a central role in the earlier phase of the rollout, vaccinating staff and residents at tens of thousands of long-term care facilities. And you got Rite Aid, Kroger, Publix, H-E-B, some of the others said they're still waiting to hear when they'll receive the doses and can begin offering the shot. So it looks like Walgreens and CVS are already getting the indication. They're probably the two of the biggest ones out there with the ability to do that. But those will come, and folks, I plan on getting it. I do. We got a lot of people. We got to get this vaccine. If you're healthy and you can, there's some people who can't. You know, if you're pregnant out there, if you have a weakened immune system, sometimes you're unable to vaccinate. And we need big numbers to get over this. So I encourage you to look at the data. There's going to be a lot of information out there, and fight through it, because these things work. They seem to be safe from everything out there. I'm going to take it to do my part, folks, and we all got to do our part, because if it doesn't happen, we're stuck in this for our reality. So we'll see. I might even put it out there on TFNN, do my part, because this, Facebook, I am not a fan of Facebook, folks. It is a place that just allows negativity to foster. In 2020, it's quite a year for negativity, so I imagine that's all that's going to persist on Facebook. So we'll see what happens, but I encourage you to consider that, because it only happens if we all come together and get that done. All right, jumping around to some of the other stocks, some of my favorites, pulling back from some of the gains we had. You had Disney up to all the way to 179 on their earnings last Friday, paring some of those gains back to 170, still thinking, keeping things in context. We were trading at about 152 the day prior to their earnings. They're looking at potentially 350 million paying subscribers by 2024 on the upper end, jumping around to some of the ride-hailing companies as well, pairing some of the gains. Now, it's interesting. I put in my newsletter yesterday, Rocket Equities and Options, talking about Uber and our position. Demand for their business, obviously evidenced by the fact of DoorDash. Whoops, not a daily. I meant to even put it on a 5-minute, which goes public last week, shoot up to 195. Yeah, we've paired a lot of that. To put this in context, though, folks, the Analyze tab on the Thinkorswim platform, go down to the fundamentals. I'm just scrolling down to pull the market cap. You're dealing with about a $50 billion market cap for DoorDash, even at this level of 154. We're trading higher. Now, you look at Uber. Uber has what DoorDash has, and DoorDash could even be the leader. But if Uber is second, they're coming for their business in a big way, right? And then they have all the ride-hailing. Okay, DoorDash doesn't have ride-hailing at all. It's not a part of the business. And you get into the Analyze tab for the valuation, and you're dealing with $90 billion. So you got DoorDash at $50 billion, you got Uber at $90 billion. I think I would take Uber in that one. And, I'm biased. We have Uber in the newsletter, so you vote best when you put money at risk. But I find it hard to believe that DoorDash is already up to that level when Uber's obviously competing in the food delivery business and has all of the ride-sharing and ride-hailing business ride-sharing to go with it. Something to consider. McDonald's, one of the stocks we look at in the newsletter, got quite an acceleration yesterday. They got a little upgrade. Check out McDonald's, putting this on a daily. We're back in that consolidation area. Was in quite an uptrend off the lows of 124, but it needs a little bit of a bid. We've been consolidating since about October, end of October, on McDonald's shares. All right, jumping around to some of the commodities, see how we're moving, putting it on a 15-minute. Gold contract continuing to rise, 1856. We're solid $35 off of those lows. Quite a run in the gold market. And jumping around to some of the other action in commodities, there we go. The EIA, they see crude glut enduring to end of 2021. Not too surprising here. Crude catching quite a little bid for itself, but we got a long way to go until the world opens back up. And the crude oil glut left behind by the pandemic will clear by the end of next year. Next year, folks. Demand is clearly going to be lower for longer than expected. In Europe, tentative recovery is reversing. And so oil, I mean, it's been a strong one, though, folks, considering. So quite the drop off yesterday. And just like that, crude's up to about 47, 41. All right, jumping around to some of the other stocks. Netflix shares so far this morning, quite the day higher for them yesterday, sitting at about 521. I mentioned Apple's run this morning, 124.08, quite the rise there. Jumping over to Microsoft shares, up a bit as well. This NASDAQ, all the stocks right now, a bit higher. Google shares, trading pretty much unchanged at 1764. And we'll keep our eye on the note market. Pretty calm as well, 137.31 right now. We'll jump into the VIX, 23.26. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back after the break. We'll go over a couple equities with earnings this week to keep on your radar. We'll be right back.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab. Bam!
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based, vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We get the S&P's up 27 points right now. So overnight in Europe, we have the DAX right now up almost a full percent, up 125 points, trading at 13,348. We got Larry Pesavento, folks, coming up next. He always pulls up the DAX. I love it. That's why I always pull up the DAX to see what's going on when I wake up over in Europe. FTSE is off about 0.3%. CAC roll up 0.3 over in Asia overnight. Pretty calm action. The Nikkei down about 0.1%. Shanghai basically unchanged, down slightly. And jumping back to some of those commodities, we're going to start real quick with Bitcoin again. So interesting how the volatility we get here. Putting this on the chart, quite the consolidation. We're at this level between about 19,000 and 20,000, right in the middle of that area. Now, you want to see some crazy action, folks. Getting all the indications we are in crude. I mean, are we going to potentially finish the year for crude in the 50s? I mean, we're $2.50 away from that level after the year we've had to negative prices. There might be some pressure on crude as expectations for the future now have to be delivered. I mean, I talk about it many times. This market alone, the S&P, we just traded in October from almost October 30th. The low there was 25 points away from 3,200. And we got to 37.14. We missed 500 points by 11 points, folks. We traded 489 S&P points with the news of the election and that volatility taken out of the market, and the news of the vaccine and that variable taken out of the market that we will get an effective vaccine. But you're talking about, folks, 500 points that we just ran. I mean, that's like 15%. Yeah. 480 points would be about 15%. So you're talking about 15%. The market just ran up on expectations. Now reality has to catch up. Might be a great time for consolidation. We're looking at some cash secured puts in the newsletter. I encourage you to do the same sometimes in options. If you're not into it, come try my newsletter, folks. Under newsletters at TFNN, try it for 30 days. Same thing, money back guarantee. You can get some Tiger dollars first maybe, because this market, it's an interesting one like none other. Dire situation right now. Hopefully we get some stimulus, but the future very bright with vaccines 6 months down the road. The market might just chop around and wait for that reality. Stay tuned, folks. We got live programming all day.